Cool. So we are live. The pros and cons of adult language learning versus children language learning. So I was with my son today, and every week he surprises me with something. And he said, "Aspetta me, mommy." I said, "Wow, like he's learning so much." And then he used geniale, and I had to remind myself, what is that word, geniale? So it's like, wow, clever, or something that's really intelligent, like genius. And I'm learning from my son, like, and I just thought, wow, like my son speaks English, Italian, and Romanian, and I'm like, he has so many advantages because he doesn't have any bad habits. He doesn't have any bad thoughts. He doesn't have his mind is not polluted. So then I just thought, wow, like I wonder if I can make a video about this, what happened today. And then I thought, there are advantages and disadvantages of language learning for adults and then for children. Now I'll start with the adults first, and then I will move. I'll start with the children. Okay, I'll start with the children first, and then I'll move to the adults. All right. So with children, they have a clean mind. They don't have, fears. So they have a clean mind, number one. They don't have any fears for the advantages. And then they are curious, right? They explore. They are not afraid to make mistakes. Okay, those are the three advantages that I can think of. Probably I'm sure there are more advantages, but we'll just limit it to three. For children, a disadvantage that they have is limited vocabulary. Okay, so they repeat what they hear, so they may not express themselves fully. So number one, they have a limited vocabulary and grammar. So I notice my son does not use first conditional or second conditional or third conditional, right? He uses the present simple or the past. So it's really like an A1, A2 level. They can't express themselves fully. Okay, so if their vocabulary is limited, if their grammar is limited, they can't say, for example, if I went to the store, I would have bought this, right? They can't use that form, right? So they're limited in their speech. Also, number three, lack of understanding. My son does not understand everything that I tell him. Okay, so he just listens and repeats. Sometimes he listens and repeats and it doesn't make sense, right? But that's how he's becoming more and more fluent. He's just practicing. Um, for adults, the pros, they have a larger vocabulary, all right? They have more grammar, or usually they know more grammar, so they can try to express themselves better. Number two, they can understand better, right? They can understand jokes, they can understand different contexts and different concepts. And then number three, they're more systematic in the approach. Most or many adults. Depends on the adult. And then the disadvantages are, number one, the fears. That's the biggest thing most adults have, is the fear. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of judgment from other people, the fear of what's another one? The fear of failure, and then also the embarrassment and the shame. And then another disadvantage is they are not always open or curious. Okay, so for example, one of my recent clients, I mentioned a technique that he could use, and he disappeared. Okay, so if it's not in a traditional way, some adults are afraid, or they feel like they know everything, and so they're not really open, right? So which is sad because they pay a lot of money for the coaching, but then they don't want to be coached. And then lack of time, and then other priorities. So another disadvantage for adults is they have a business. Okay, they have a career, they have a family, so this can get in the way, and that's why I say it's important to, if you don't have an hour every day, then at least 30 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, do something if you don't have time, right? That's the biggest thing with adults, is they have responsibilities, which is understandable. Also, same thing for me. I have responsibilities, but this is my work, so I enjoy this work. So those are the differences. Children and adults. Children just have a clean slate, no responsibilities, so they can be curious, they can play. Adults, we have to pay bills. So don't become discouraged or sad or feel ashamed because you're an adult. So you have priorities, but if you learn English, you will have more opportunities. Okay, so just keep going, keep fighting, and sometimes you will feel discouraged. Sometimes you won't feel like studying. Sometimes you won't feel like practicing. Just like me. All right, we're all human, so it's okay. Keep going, and you'll reach your goals.